In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play that groove. Think of this pattern as another way to strum on the guitar. The big difference being that instead of using a pick, you're using your thumb, first, and middle finger to get through this groove. The pattern itself is one bar and contains a slap on the third beat with your thumb. Here's a look at the pattern played slowly. Let's first talk about how the slap works before we get into the other parts of this pattern. The snare-like sound is coming from my thumb making contact with the A string on the third beat. Notice that when my thumb makes contact with the string, it stays there until I need to pluck that A string again. This slap motion isn't one you need to put a lot of force behind. It's kind of a soft landing. In addition to the thumb slap, I'm also strumming through the chord with my first and middle fingers. You can see that the slap and the strum happen all in one motion. Before you endeavor to pick up the rest of this pattern, start by focusing on getting that slap and strum motion down. Here's a closer look at that motion. With this pattern, you end up with this really rhythmic, syncopated sound, but in reality, what you're playing is all eighth notes. When counting those eighths, think to yourself, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. On each of those down and up beats, your picking hand is playing something. Let's take a look at this same pattern with the chord changes from the demonstration that you saw at the beginning of this video. This progression uses 4 chords. D major 7 add 9, B minor 11, E minor 9, A7 add 13. This kind of progression is actually very common and generally referred to as a 1, 6, 2, 5. If you mess around with jazz, you'll often hear this progression, but you can sometimes hear it in popular music as well. On each chord change, I use the same picking pattern. Keeping that same picking pattern, you can augment the groove by selectively muting certain downbeats and upbeats, like this. When I use selective muting, my fretting hand is releasing pressure from those chords selectively, but my picking hand is doing the same exact pattern. Every bar with my picking hand is ultimately the exact same. Using mutes, you can make your own choices about what you want to emphasize or take away from this groove. And this picking pattern isn't just limited to jazzy, funky chords. You can use this picking pattern with any chord progression. Think of it as a way to add something to your accompaniment for a soloist or a vocalist. It's also a pattern that can be used in your own solo guitar writing. So give it a shot with some of your favorite chords and see what you come up with. I hope you got something out of this tutorial, and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions for other tutorials that might help you. Thank you for watching.